So in continuing Women's History Month, I am very, very honored to be able to highlight Danielle Peters of Highway Heroes Logistics. Danielle, what's up, man? How you feeling?
What's going on, Jordan? I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling very blessed. Man, it's been a while. It's been a long time coming to actually have you on stage. How you feeling? Everything great your way?
Everything is going good. Yeah, it's been, I think it's September?
Yeah, September. September. A lot has happened in these 7-8 months. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, so the folks wouldn't know this, but you literally have given me so much game. Given me so much game over this time. And hold on. So all right, cool. Look. Would you like to introduce yourself, and then we can go on to how we met and, talk about systems from there. So you're Danielle. Can you please introduce yourself, madam?
My name is Danielle. Everybody calls me Danny. And so I've been doing trucking for, about 3 years now?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a software and systems engineer by trade, and I sort of took that information and tailored it to trucking, and here we are. And
here we are. And how long have you been, IT? How long were you doing tech before you got introduced to the world of trucking?
Since I was 19, so about 8-9 years.
Okay, all right. So you were deep in it. That was your career, and you got introduced to trucking, and you were like, okay, so I can definitely merge these two worlds together. And do you feel like you've been able to find some level of success in doing that?
Absolutely. I got a couple of projects to be able to, automate some things for, some big people coming up. So it's looking up.
Okay, cool. And you said one of those words that's very, very important when it comes to this conversation is automation. Okay, how important is automation when it comes to a small business?
Very, very important. Being an entrepreneur, you kind of work in your business and not on your business. So, you wear a lot of hats. So if you could, find systems that automate a lot of those, things that would cause you to have human error, it will make your business run so much more seamlessly.
I agree. I mean, we are all human, Every single day, I own a dispatch company, and daily I might make a mistake. I might forget something. A task might slip my mind. Something as small as an administrative task, or a communication task, or something like that. And I have to give myself grace along with anybody else that I'm dealing with, because like you said, these type of things, they happen. Now, what type of systems are out there that you've implemented, that kind of help people like me, and I don't want to just leave that question so broad. Let me ask a question before we get there. All right. So, I know that you do some consulting with small businesses, so the trucking side of things, but I also know you have a dispatch company too. Do you feel like those systems that you have in place for your dispatch company also, help the motor carriers that you consult with?
Absolutely. I tell everybody, the biggest thing, whether you're a fleet owner, dispatcher, fleet manager, one thing you definitely want to get is a project management tool. And one of the bigger ones that I use is ClickUp, because it allows you to sort of block out different areas of your business, whether it's, marketing, onboarding new drivers. It also has, calendar implementations. And it's a central location where a lot of people, they use Google Sheets and Google Drive, and granting people access to that, sometimes can get a little hazy. So I tell people, a project management tool, and a lot of these are free, is one of the big things that you definitely want to use, in your small business.
Okay, so to be honest, that's the first I'm hearing of ClickUp. Are you saying that you said it has a calendar piece to it? It allows you to see what you got going on and, I guess, readily update those things that you have going on. But the last part you said was people have Google Drive, and I know Google Drive. I currently utilize that. How does this kind of touch on that piece then?
It also allows you to drop the documents in there, but I love ClickUp because it allows you to have tasks and you can assign those tasks to various people. So, say you have, I think you have multiple dispatchers, right? So every dispatcher might have a box truck division, a flatbed division. And so their tasks are the same, but they're also different, right? So you're able to assign those to different people. You're able to drop the documents in there. You can see their progress. And so it's sort of like a what in IT we call an agile methodology, where you can see their steps on how they're progressing through the task that you've delegated it to them.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. And when you say the progress, like a task that I would put out there would be, hey, dispatcher, I need you to go through and get this brand new carrier that we just onboarded. I need you to get them signed up with these top 10 brokerages that we utilize every single day. Would it kind of like give little? How would it work in that way, or does it handle something like that, or would it be something like as soon as it's finished you can just say job complete, or would it give you like little ways to see where they are in that task?
So it's a little bit of both, actually. So okay. I have that same process. I have a Word document that I'm able to drop. So when they're doing the task, they're able to check in the box. And so the way that you have the methodology set up, it'll either say in progress, open, finished, closed, and you can see, the steps, you can measure how far they've gone to tell you whether they're in, how far they are in the progress of that task.
Okay. Yeah. And this is a free tool.
It's free. Free 99. Okay.
Free 99. I love that, especially when it comes to seeing how I can build my business. I don't want more expenses. I'm trying to limit those. So free sounds great to me at this point in my career.
And if you want to upgrade, I think it's like $5 or $10 a month. So it's still very feasible once you start, expanding and growing. But a lot of the systems that I started with, I started free 99.
Okay, no, I definitely respect that. Okay, so we have the project management tool for just I don't want to say the random, but a catch-all project management tool where you can keep progress of all these different tasks that are going on. Do you have any other systems that you feel like kind of like link into that one?
So Slack is another good one for communication if you have multiple teams. Slack, and also WhatsApp Business integrates with them, so you never really lose the communication between all your teams.
Okay. I do happen to know somebody that works for WhatsApp. I did not know that they started a business division, though. That's awesome.
Absolutely. I'm always up on the latest technology.
Of course I do. That's why I'm asking you these questions, man, because some of us, and this is so, I hate saying this. I graduated with a degree in technology, computer information systems, and I am not the first adapter to any new technology. Like zero. That is not me, not the newest iPhone, not the newest computer, not the newest operating system. I'm always like, all right, let you guys get out the kinks. Let me know, how it looks, 3 renditions from now, and then I'll be over there. But, it is those early adopters and early adapters that will, basically change, allow us what's changing the industry. So I love talking to you for that reason. Like, you let me know what is the thing to keep my eye on. So appreciate you for that. And yeah, I heard about Slack. I've heard about Slack several times. Even our guest from a couple weeks ago, Eric from VendorFlow, he created VendorFlow, and it has like a feel like a Slack when it comes to the way that his communication tool allows people to see all of the different things they have going on the computer. So yeah, I know a good amount about that one. WhatsApp Business. What do you use WhatsApp Business for?
To be able to have the multiple carriers and, instead of doing the group text message, WhatsApp Business allows you to have those multiple messages, and also automate certain, to connect to your Facebook. So say someone, did an inquiry on your Facebook about your services, right? WhatsApp Business allows you to have that automated message, but also receive the message on your end. If you want, somebody from your team, a VA or something, to be able to talk to them.
Okay. All right. So it allows that seamless connection because it's owned by Meta, from WhatsApp to Facebook. And, it allows you to communicate seamlessly with that. Okay. That makes perfect sense. Do you use WhatsApp for any of the tracking functionalities or any of that kind of stuff, or you haven't really had a reason to touch it like that yet?
No, I haven't really had a reason to touch it in that manner.
Okay. No, I understand. I didn't know that you can do it until we were talking to Eric the other week. I didn't know that drivers were able to, basically let whatever dispatcher or brokerage know what their location was by enabling the tracking system within WhatsApp, but apparently it's a thing. So, I'm not mad at it, especially because MacroPoint, as much as, folks love them, the brokerage that I use every single day to book loads, MacroPoint be going out on their end. So they asked me, the dispatcher, hey, where's this driver? Can I get an update on this load? I'm like, look, they accepted the MacroPoint. Okay. So, are there any tracking tools that you would recommend or that you have already put up in your business? I mean, if not, it's completely fine.
So you have, INNOPORTAL and, like I told you the other couple weeks ago, Total Dispatcher, right, which is a newer software. So that link sort of allows you to track also where the driver is without them having to download other apps and stuff like that. Also, TruckLogic was one of the first ones that I used, and I tell a lot of fleet owners and fleet managers, hey, for managing your fleet, TruckLogic is a very, very good software to use, and it integrates with the Keep Trucking and all that other kind of stuff, but also that app works as a secondary tracking tool as well.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know INNOPORTAL had that built into their system. And when you say it's a link, all right, so INNOPORTAL, we dispatch the load out using INNOPORTAL or Total Dispatcher, but let's just say INNOPORTAL just because we love the folks over there at Innovative Logistics Group. So look, we have the link. We have the load that we want to dispatch out to our motor carrier. We have put all the information in there and we hit send. Now you're saying with hitting send, it goes to that driver, as an email or a text message or both?
As a link. So because they don't have an actual app on the other side that you can download because it's tailored to your business.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that link acts sort of like when other brokers or whatever, they'll say, hey, I'm sending your driver a text message. He has to accept that link.
Mm-hmm.
Same sort of, rules apply. That link allows them to also track where the driver is via their phone.
Okay, and you as the dispatcher, business owner, fleet owner, you're able to see that very, very easily on INNOPORTAL's, website.
INNOPORTAL, TruckLogic, Total Dispatcher, right? So you don't have to necessarily ask for those check calls. I know in TruckLogic for sure you can put a parameter around, say you want to know when your driver's 50 miles away from the particular drop location. It'll send you a text message. It'll send the broker a text message and an email without you having to call the driver and say, what's the ETA.
Ooh, I like that. And a fancy word, an industry word for what you just described is geofencing. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Couldn't think of it, but yeah, that's what it's called.
Man, no, I love that. Oh, and I'm just thinking about it now, how that would save so much time. I talk to my carriers all the time now, just like how important communication is to staying a preferred carrier. If a brokerage has to like seek you out every second to see what the progress is, what the location is, what the situation is not as good because they have to expend more energy. But if you're the one that's able to do that, and like you just said, automate it by geofencing, you are definitely going to be a brokerage's favorite motor carrier / dispatch service because they don't have to do as much work. You're allowing them to rest. So yeah, man, you're just my mind is just like going crazy right now. I'm like, I gotta get this in. I gotta put this in my system. Okay.
Yeah, TruckLogic is like I said, it's good. You can also you can also do driver pay. So if you, like I said, you're a fleet manager and you are taking care of the day-to-day operations of somebody else's business and they, task you with paying the driver, you can actually pay the driver through that particular software. And they calculate their miles. It's awesome.
So it calculates their whole entire profitability.
Everything.
Okay.
So that's a really good, automation tool I like to give to fleet owners. Another one is for your pre and post op trips. Since a lot of people, especially with all these accidents happening, right? A lot of it is because a lot of these drivers aren't doing their pre and post op trips. Mm-hmm. Reason being, they're just, they don't want to do it paper wise or whatever. They just don't want to do it. There's an app. It's called Fleetio. Literally, you can take a picture of the VIN number of the truck and it'll tell you all the pre and post op, checks that you're supposed to do. And you can literally take a video and you've done your pre and post op trip within 5 minutes.
Okay, nice. There is this one thing that I just saw from Larry. Larry, the trucker. What's his last name,
Cochran,
man? Yeah, that's him. That is Larry. He just put this video on IG of that pre and post trip situation of just going through and checking the bolts on the tires to make sure that they were tightened. And everyone in his video that he touched, they were and it made me think, you see so many random tires just flying off of cars these days and flying off of trucks. So, that you do got to get out there, my people. If you got these commercial vehicles, you got to be doing those pre and post trips. It's required by law. The FMCSA ain't playing, so I'm happy that you have found an app that makes it a little bit easier for people to get out there. But at the same time, it just has to happen. It just has to happen. Thank you so much for sharing that one, though.
Oh, yeah. It's called Fleetio. And it's also, I think it's like $7 per truck.
Okay.
Which is still minuscule, but it has more than just the pre and post op. You're able to, especially nowadays, right, with fuel being so high, you're able to calculate your fuel optimization. Mm-hmm. And it does that for you. You can also track your truck on there too, right? And if you have a part, say your truck goes down, you're able to order a part because they have connected with so many third-party individuals to be able to order parts right there from the app.
Wow. And let me see if it's as integrated as my mind just thought. All right. So we're at a place, we're driving, we're like, oh snap. My airline just went out, whatever. I got to order a new airline. When I'm going on this app and I'm making this purchase, is it also asking me where I want that bad boy to be sent?
Absolutely. They have a network of, they sort of built this third party network of mechanics and everything. So you can even see when they started to do work, if you had to put your truck in the shop, how much it's going to cost you, and the step-by-step process, and you never have to leave that app.
Wow. Okay. Well, I do like that. I do like that because sometimes drivers need way more assistance on the road. And, you know, what if I don't have that, you know, that insurance coverage that says that you're going to get roadside assistance on, you know, certain things. So that SOS service. But yeah, that definitely helps, especially these owner operators out here. Okay. And Danny, I done told you about this before. You know, the fact that you can speak so in depth about these different organizations, you need to have some type of an affiliate set up with this stuff so that, you know, when they're like, oh yeah, I heard this because Danny was talking about it, like you have a link to send these folks. But yeah, and we haven't even touched on the other stuff because I know you know some other things like the in and out of the back of your hand. So yeah,
what we talk about. I guess the big thing too is like marketing, right? Since everybody is into logistics, and you know, starting dispatching or, you know, buying trucks, the best thing is, you know, how do you cultivate those relationships and keep marketing automated? So, I have it's called CONNECTALLY, and it literally replaces everything, from calendars to email campaigns to funnels, you name it, they take care of it. And it's like $40 a month, but you know, I use it for once I gather a broker's email or owner operator email, or, you know, someone who has inquired about my services, they go into a, you know, an Excel spreadsheet and they're automatically filtered into a marketing campaign and I have to do nothing.
Okay.
So, you know, say you ordered something from Fashion Nova, right? Or you left something in their cart. You know, like 15 minutes later, you get an email that says, "Hey, I've left. You know, you left something. Buy me here. Buy it now."
I've definitely gotten that notification. Oh man, you forgot. You got interrupted. What happened?
This CONNECTALLY does that same thing.
Okay.
Right. So if somebody has bought from you, or they've inquired about your services, and it's sort of that follow-up plan, right, to keep them in the loop of your business and, you know, that you still exist. I use it for brokers as well, right? You meet so many brokers or you talk to them, they forget your business. So once you get their email, what I do is every Friday I send out a blast email campaign to all the brokers on my list.
Right. Okay. And is that you as a dispatch service, or is that you as a, you know, I know that you help manage other folks' fleets. Like, are you blasting to say, hey, this is Highway Heroes? Or are you saying, hey, this is, you know, whatever motor carrier that you're talking about?
I just have a generic, you know, hey, this is Highway Heroes. Thank you for being our, you know, preferred, you know, broker. You know, sort of, you know, your job, you know, whatever little spiel you want to put on it to make them warm and fuzzy, right? But then it's like, okay, well, you know, if they're sending me this every Friday, well, let me see if they got carriers in the area. And it sort of helps you, you know, become one of their preferred carriers because you're always giving, you know, you're always in their inbox.
Right. You know, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, the oil, and all of those things. But do you feel like there's a balance? Like there's a fine line of reaching out versus, you know, just, you know, being too much with it?
I don't do it. I do it probably every Friday, every other Friday, and it's not a long drawn email. And I haven't gotten anybody that's just like stop. They're just like, you know, hey, thank you for thinking about me, or you know, hey, I have a carrier in this area, you know, or hey, I have this dedicated lane. So it's honestly worked better than I would have thought it would have worked against me.
Right. Well, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm one of those folks that I'm sending out that load list. My truck list basically every day. So sometimes the fact that this industry is catered towards 53 footers and a good amount of the carriers that I dispatch for, they are box trucks. They're like, look, I don't have any freight for box trucks. Okay, you can remove me from this distribution list. So I'm like, okay, I understand. So that's the reason why I was asking that question is, you know, sometimes I personally have had folks say, look, you know, I don't have box truck freight, so you don't have to put me on this one. Just holler back at me when you get a gang load of 53 footers and it'll all be good. And I respect it. You know, at the end of the day, somebody requests that, you just have to honor it and, you know, move on. So, but yeah, that's the reason why I asked that question. But no, for what you're doing, it definitely keeps the warm and fuzzies and you in the mind of these people, because when they are going to say, all right, I got this new lane, who are they going to reach out to? The people that, they're constantly seeing. So no, I think that's perfect. Okay. So the marketing campaign is Connectally.
Yes, Connectally. It is amazing. It is a small Black-owned tech person. His name is Jeremy. I can't think of his last name. But they are every day implementing something new. They're trying to pretty much make it like the real estate. You know how real estate people use those different marketing campaigns and tools, whether it's the phone dialer, they're pretty much making this system strictly for entrepreneurs, that you never have to have a job form, a ClickFunnels, a Sam cart, a Kartra. They're pretty much encompassing all of that in this one software.
Okay, all right. And you just pull up online and, as a user or someone who has the service, you just sign up online and do they give you like the different, landing pages, like if you have different products?
Yeah, you can build as many landing pages as you want. You can have courses in there. If you have eBooks, you can pretty much, there is no limit to what you can do in that software. You can run I have people who run multiple businesses in that one software, instead of having, 3 or 4 Sam Cart, accounts, because I have different businesses and stuff like that. So, for $50, honestly, it does a lot. You can get as many 1-800 numbers in there if you want to.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They have text message campaigns. You can do the text messages. If you've dropped, like I said, the Excel spreadsheets in there, if somebody calls you back on, say you're running a text message campaign or a 1-800 number campaign, somebody calls you from that number, it'll actually tell you who's calling. Right, so you'll have all their information pop up already. So that's one of the things that I use for my onboarding when I'm onboarding owner operators. Right, as I'm blasting out to whether it's the FMCSA list or another lead list that I bought. As they're calling back and as they're texting back, I already have their information. So it's not hey, I'm just cold calling. It's more of a warm list because now I know you're calling me back.
Right. And man, you said something in that is so important, that even me in having this transportation and logistics platform, I technically don't have access to just reach out to all of these folks who are part of this group. That's something that's still owned by Clubhouse, which, that's their design. I completely understand. But being able to have the information, that contact information of all those people who are interested is priceless. That even goes. My bad. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, you got to start your email list.
Yeah, I definitely got to get that email list going. It reminds me of even the artist Ryan Leslie. For a second, that brother was everywhere, and then he kind of just, in my mind, just disappeared on the marketing side of things. And it wasn't that this brother disappeared. He just started working smarter. He's a very educated man, went to Harvard, but he ended up saying, I don't need to blast what I got going on to the masses. I just need to know who are the people that are actually going to pull up when I go somewhere. And he learned how to, gather their information and market to them directly versus, expending all that money to market to folks that were never going to pull up. So, what you're saying, I've heard about it in different ways, different case studies, and it's been working amazing. And, that sounds like a very, very great thing that you can utilize Connectally for. I'm interested. I think we talked about it before, but
you got to check it out.
All right. Well, they opening it up now. They're gonna let a brother in.
It's open. Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right. Look, I'm just interested, because your boy got some things he's trying to do, and having like that type of that level of interaction and ownership of certain, funnels, and that's just awesome. Okay.
Yeah, you get all your analytics, so they don't hide anything from you. So you have that data; it's yours.
Okay.
So you can see, my websites are linked to the back of it. It automates my Facebook. It does wonders.
Okay. Well, yeah, appreciate you sharing that. And look, you said something earlier that I feel like it is kind of like the game changer. Folks don't mess with this, but I know that it's helped you. I know that it's allowed you to multiply, your productivity. It's allowed you to do things faster, smarter, and better, probably in certain aspects than you ever could have did alone. And you said virtual assistants. That's what you said. And I didn't mention it at that time because it deserves its own little segment right here. So VAs, virtual assistants. What are virtual assistants?
Virtual assistants are pretty much the people that you put in place to do things that you don't want to do, so you as the CEO can operate in what I like to call your level of genius.
Now,
because although you can do it, doesn't mean you should spend your time to do it.
Correct.
Although you might be great on the phone at cold calling or, sending emails, how many hours are you actually spending if you could just pay somebody to do just that particular thing, and you could do something else that helps get your business to be marketed elsewhere?
Right. So how does, virtual assistant, I'm building up my baby over here. I got my company. It's called Atlanta Dispatch. Right now, the only FaceTime, phone time, any interaction between this company and any motor carrier and any brokerage is me. I know the level of professionalism that's going out every single time. Mm-hmm. How does a CEO building their dream company get comfortable allowing somebody they've never even physically seen, touched, to speak on their behalf?
Well, you have to have the 3 Ps, which is policy, process, and procedures.
Woo! The 3 Ps, okay.
So, I'm pretty sure you probably heard the term SOPs.
Yes.
Right? Which is your standard operating procedure. Although people think because they're a small business that you shouldn't have those, you absolutely should. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out 35-page manual, right? But you do have to be able to articulate and tell someone how to do what you want them to do and the exact steps to go about doing it so that it is a seamless system and process, and that everybody receives the same level of customer service that you want.
Okay. All right. Say those 3 Ps again, because that was powerful.
Policies, processes, and procedures.
Got you.
People like to think that those terms are interchangeable, but they're not. So policies are pretty much like the rules and the guidelines. The process is the actual task that you need completed, and the procedures are the steps to complete that task.
You are, when you think about it like that, that's exactly what those things are. Man, I love it.
Yeah, because if I told you, Jory, go make tell me how to go make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, what you gonna do? Tell me to go in the refrigerator and, get the peanut butter and make a sandwich, right? Uh-huh. But those aren't the steps. Uh-huh. You have to tell me, Danielle, go walk in the kitchen, open the refrigerator, go on the top shelf, grab the peanut butter that says, so you have to literally go line by line, especially when you're talking about hiring virtual assistants, because a lot of them will either be from the Philippines, they will be from, India, Serbia, and so granted their English is great, but you have to literally tell them everything that you want them to do step by step. And if you miss a word, if you miss a comma, if you miss a period, they won't do it. So you literally have to, have that workflow, which is what a lot of people miss when they're in business, is they don't develop the customer workflow and how you want that to look, to be able to remove yourself So if I was a customer and I wanted Atlanta Dispatch, what are the steps to be onboarded as a driver? And so you have to literally map out those steps and then plug and play the virtual assistant where they belong, and then have that script, have that SOP, have, okay, once they signed on, I need you to go to email dispatch at, atlantadispatch.com, go to folder 2 and, pick out Word document 4. Like, you literally have to map it out for them.
Right. And, the fact is, I saw a gap in how I normally operate. And I think that I'm a great communicator. But even when you gave that example of, how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I got super cocky. I was like, oh, I can do that. No problem. And you're right. I didn't talk about, first you got to walk into this place. My immediate thoughts was, so you take the bread, it was all those steps that, you missed out, that you would just assume somebody knew. You had to walk you had to travel from where you currently are, go to the place where it actually is to even begin the process. So, I'm a humble guy. I can see where I can definitely take some notes. And I pray that people are also hearing this type of thing. It's just like, there's different ways of looking at your processes and your procedures and, writing those things out so that there is no miscommunication. You're making me think of how I can do that so that, I can take some of these tasks that I hold so tightly, and allow other folks to step in and allow me to get back to that level of genius, where I can be doing other things at other times in other places and other spaces. So yeah, appreciate that.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, that's one of the the good things that makes Amazon, right? If you call after 5, you're not going to get anybody in America, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to get somebody overseas. But the level of customer service that they have is the same whether you call at 5 in the morning or you call at 5 in the afternoon. They have the same script. They have the same way they go about addressing problems, right? And then they have a methodology on how they're going to get that problem to the next level to solve it, right? It's the same process. Now, the outcome might not be the same, right? Because everybody's situation is different. However, as long as the process is the same, everybody will still have the same, outcome as far as the level of customer service that they receive.
Right. That's truth. That's facts right there. And all right. So what's that process of finding a VA? Because again, if I am not too familiar with the tech side of things or outsourcing side of things, because that's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Now we've gone from systems, tech related to now outsourcing our, some of these tasks. So if I'm not an outsourcing specialist, what is the actual steps of finding someone to help me with anything? And, let's say anything first, and then let's say about, a dispatcher, finding somebody to help me with dispatching.
Well, with anything, you have to lay out what exactly it is you need that person to do. All the steps, all the tasks that you need them to complete, and then that will give you an overview of the type of virtual assistant that you need in various areas. Because you can hire a virtual assistant, but if they don't have a specialty in marketing or a specialty in social media, you're just spinning your wheels, right? So what it is that you need from a virtual assistant to complete whatever it is that you need to complete, you need to write those down. And, it's typically anywhere between 5 to 10 things that you need from them, because you don't want to overload them. So that would be my first step, was write them down. Second step is, depending on what type of operation do you want to run. Do you want to run a 24-hour operation? Because you have those that are in different time zones, like, one's in India, one's in Serbia, one's in the Philippines. So you have to figure out if you're going to run a 24-hour operation, because their hours are different. So that's the next thing. And then you have to do your due diligence on they're English, right? They have great English, but you want a VA that is able to be more of a conversationalist, right? Not a robot.
Right.
In my real estate business, I had a VA. He was great when it came to being an appointment setter, but he sounded like a robot. Mm-hmm. So, women are typically better VAs because they are able to, have that conversation and maneuver through sort of the, excuse my French, BS that a lot of times when you're cold calling, they're able to, peel through that first layer.
Okay.
So, and then of course in trucking, a lot of men would like to talk to women in general anyway.
Yeah.
So if you can get, a woman VA who is able to, be more of a conversationalist, has, decent English, you can pretty much get them for, I think I pay my VA like $125 a week for 40 hours worth a week.
Okay. Yeah, man. That, I don't know what to say. That sounds great. That sounds great as a business owner.
Where else in the world? And typically, the Philippines, their work ethic is a lot better than, for what you're paying, than a lot of other freelancers that you would possibly come across. Because that's what you're really, ultimately getting as a freelancer. Right,
exactly.
But their work ethic is phenomenal. And literally whatever you ask them to do, as long as you have it, written down in those tasks, it gets done.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Okay. So that means that's not you creating all those beautiful like images and all the marketing tools and campaigns and all that stuff. Is that you, or is that somebody that you have as a VA?
No, I got him as a VA. So
got him as a VA.
See on my social media. I have a graphic designer who is in Saudi Arabia. So he takes care of all of, social media, doing flyers and things of that nature. Because again, although I can do it, I spend 3 or 4 hours out of my day or even just out of my month to do something that he can get paid to do for $200.
Right. I got you there. And so, all right, now we've talked about not only who VAs are, we've talked about what they can do, what you as the owner need to do in order to get the right VA. Now, the biggest obstacle is finding the VA. How does one find the VA?
You have places like onlinejobs.ph. You can Google Indian VAs. I can't think of the actual name right now off the top of my head. But they have outsourcing companies, and you can try them. Especially, I know the Indian VAs. You can try them for like a week for free, and you can give them up to 10 tasks and see if you like them before you actually try them.
Okay.
The onlinejobs.ph, where you will find the Filipino VAs. You can see how much they, how much you want to pay them, or you can put whatever your pay scale would be. And most of the people in the Philippines have degrees, so they're highly educated at the rate that they have there. So the sourcing, and you can see their resumes. So it's not just, hey, this person says they have qualifications. They have their resumes online. They've also gone through, just the general test, aptitude test, for their English and for, their data entry. So, they've done a thorough job, especially on onlinejobs.ph, to validate that these people are equipped to be able to do the job, at hand.
Okay. All right. So we got onlinejob.ph for the Philippines, and you're saying that each country that is known for outsourcing, they have their own website, like so it'll be onlinejob.in for India or something?
I can't think of the Indian one at the moment. I'll have to give that to you. I know they have an outsourcing company. I can't think of the name right now.
It's Metro Max, because you know them. They doing it fire.
They're
fire.
Yeah, they're really good. I know he's trained them for I think 2 years.
Oh, this brother is in another galaxy, man. I think that having that brother on this stage so early, it just opened my mind to the fact that people can really be out here doing it large. You just gotta find the smart way of doing it, and
right. VAs is a part of your system, right? Because once you implement them, you could pretty much duplicate them, because then you'll have a head VA who will train the other ones as you begin to expand. So, VAs are, they're their separate entity, but they're also a part of, the system to help you grow. Because yes, things can be automated, but the VAs are the ones that put it on autopilot.
Right. Very true. Very true. Great way of saying that. So we got the onlinejob.ph. Now, there's another place that you go to get your VAs. I don't know if you're still doing it though, because I thought you were going to say that first. You know,
everywhere where I be.
Right. Fiverr.
Fiverr and Freelancer.
Okay.
Fiverr and Freelancer. I do use them a lot still. But I found like I said, I found pretty good quality on onlinejobs.ph. And typically they have people who've already are equipped to do dispatching or fleet management in some capacity. Mm-hmm. So the learning curve isn't huge.
Right. Okay. So you feel, my bad, go ahead.
No, you're good.
So I was about to say, so you feel like with Fiverr and Freelancer, you might have to do a lot more explaining up front versus, going through the online job whatever.
Right. And then, like I said, Fiverr and Freelancer, typically I use them for my marketing, to find people to do the flyers or the social media management, or to even set up the ClickUp, right? If you're not good with, technology, but you want to be able to utilize a project management system, they have people there that'll set up that, project management tool for you. All you have to say is, hey, I run a company and these are our day-to-day operations. And I have, I have a finance department. I have a human resource department. Can you set up this project management tool? I can have it on my phone, and I just want to be able to overlook and see, the things that people are doing. They have people that'll set that up for you.
Okay. Well, that sounds super dope. And for where I'm sitting, I think that, I'm in a spot now where I understand that my strength, my genius lies more in building connections versus the day in, day out task of, running a dispatch company, which at the end of the day, I definitely am so blessed to have been able to work in my business for the last, about 13 months. I got my first client last February, and, so now I know this process in and out, back of my hand. So it's a little bit easier for me to think about bringing somebody on that can actually do this stuff while I focus on other parts of business. But it took me some time to get here. But, I think everything happens when it's supposed to.
It's not overnight, but in the beginning, as you start working out the kinks and everything, you definitely want to document your process. And then every 6 months, or every quarter, go back and revamp that process, because what you did 13 months ago is not what you're doing now.
Correct. That is very correct.
So, although you have a system in place, one thing that me and my team do is we meet every Monday and talk about, what's working, what's not working. And so then we could start, strategically implementing whatever changes need to be made. But then there's not a heavy overhaul of the system, because every week or so we're tweaking what needs to be tweaked.
Right. Man, I'm so excited to have you on stage. You have been such a bright spot in my business. I can't lie to you. You have helped me so much, and just you always being available to have a conversation with me over the past, 7-8 months. I'm just very, very grateful. And, Is there anything? Let me go ahead and say this. Are there any questions that we have for Danny? If so, raise your hand. But as I was saying that, I'm just so for real, Danny. You've definitely helped me out so much, and you still got so much game that we ain't even tapped on. We hadn't even talked about some of the other things that we talked about. So, I just want to say I'm very appreciative. How do you spell that marketing thing that you were talking about, Connectally?
It's Connectally, CONNECTALLY.
Gotcha. Because your boy got to get on it.
Yeah, Connect. I love it. I mean, I use it every day. Every day. And, every Monday and Wednesday, the owner actually comes on and teaches you how to walk through your entire system. So, it's still close and tight knit, and, they're working on some really, really huge stuff. So, if they ever decide to go public, as far as, shares and stocks, I'm the first one on it. Okay.
Okay. I love that. I definitely love that. Okay, so I'm on that website. Your boy gonna sign up because I got some things that I need to do on the marketing side of things. And truth be told, I'd rather go ahead and tap into a system that makes that a little bit more streamlined than me creating, because when you're building companies, you, as we've talked about, being able to utilize other people's strengths it's a strength itself. So, it looks like, my bad. Go ahead.
I think we got somebody.
Yeah, we do. We do have somebody. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them up to the stage. It's going to be on them to accept. And now they did accept. We got our brother Horace. How you doing today, sir?
How you doing today? I just wanted to make a comment. Danny, you dropped so many nuggets because I'm with you on that. It just, if you can automate it, please do so. It makes things a lot easier.
It does. Well, I'm glad.
You were dropping so many nuggets. I was like, good Lord, she knows a lot of this stuff. Because when you said those 3 P's, and then I was thinking, I said, it sounds like standard operating procedure. And I knew all about that, just had been in the Army and all. That's all they preach is standard operating procedure. So, yep.
Yeah, I'm prior Navy, so I definitely understand.
Okay.
Thank you both for the service.
Your job?
I was an operations specialist.
Okay, I was supply sergeant in the Army.
Gotcha. Well, hoorah or hoo-yah? Is that what it is?
Who? Yeah.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah. But that's all I have. Thank you for all the information you dropped, because I was just writing stuff down and going to the internet, just checking it out. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope everybody got something from it, and yeah.
Okay. Well, look, Horace, thank you so much for coming up to the stage, brother. Greatly appreciate you, and thank you.
One of my favorite people in here, Miss Tina.
Right. Miss Tina in here. Yeah, so definitely love Miss Tina, all that energy. I did want to say thank you both for your service. We definitely appreciate here in America. So thank you.
Thank you for your support.
For sure. So were there any other questions for Danny? And Danny, as I say that, I definitely want to speak to you about this one IT situation. I was actually talking to Miss Tina about it because I need to get this bad boy going. I just didn't want to drop it on your lap because I know you got so many other projects. Look, well, this is definitely this is next level, so we can't talk about it on Clubhouse. Okay. This is tapping into some of that skill that you were doing before transportation, to make transportation easier. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, so it looks like that we're going to go ahead and conclude this bad boy. I'm going to go ahead and turn off hand raising. And Danny,
say thank you for, I'm not a social media person, or I barely, I'm a behind the scenes individual, but I thank you for allowing me on your platform to, talk about something I'm passionate about, IT and systems and stuff like that. So, if anybody has any, questions or, IT person, please feel free to, reach out to me and let me know.
Well, it was an absolute honor to have you on stage. Again, look, we hadn't talked about how we met. We might as well talk about it now as we conclude. Look, at the Trucking Millionaires Tour in the Atlanta, Georgia stop, we had Kiera and we had everybody else that was a trucking millionaire. We had Sheldon. It's about 1 billion people. You want to name all the folks, or do we just leave it at Trucking Millionaires?
Who was there? It was Eric Truck Estates.
Yep.
Blue Collar CEO
Marcus, that's my boy.
The last mile guy.
Yep, and Shaq and Chris.
Trailer Strong, Delmar. Who else? Hood Estates, Sandy and her husband.
Yeah, those are cool people right there.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. So everybody had their own little segment.
Right. Yep. All right. So look, had a great time there. Technically, I was helping somebody with their booth, so I was out there, selling products for Michelle. So that was pretty cool, helping somebody with their vendor booth. And then out of nowhere, there's this young lady that I hear talking. I don't even know what you were talking about, but I got a chance to just say what's up to you, and that conversation ballooned into so much more. We talked
for 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours.
Exactly, we talked for a very long time, and this is just I'm supposed to be networking and meeting folks, but this conversation kind of took over the whole entire purpose of why I was there, and
I know what happened.
What's that?
I was talking, and you and Delmar was like, what is it that you don't do?
Yeah.
What is it that I don't do?
That's what it was. I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. And then we just started talking, and I just had to know more and more and more. And we got a chance to even go to, I was craving Chicago pizza that day, y'all. So we got a chance to go to Nancy's on Ponce. So if you're ever in the Atlanta area, hit up Nancy's, pretty good pizza, Chicago style pizza. And just more and more systems and processes and the 3 Ps that she was talking about. And, I just want to say thank you because, we didn't have to talk that time, but the fact that you were open to even doing it allowed me to learn so much at a time that I really needed to learn, how to operate a dispatch company. So I'm truly just grateful, and I appreciate you. And, if there's ever anything I can do, you just let me know. Okay.
Oh, I appreciate you. You my boy for life. So
hey.
Locked in. So anytime I come to the Atlanta area, I'm for sure always hitting you up when you available.
Okay, now. Well, look, appreciate you. And y'all, excuse me, I just got word that I don't know if our freight wave situation is going to happen on Monday. The guy who's doing it now, he's going to be out of the country, and we want to respect that brother's vacation. We will see if the original brother is going to be able to step in his place, but if not, I'll just keep you, if it's scheduled for Monday at 7:30 a.m., know what's happening. If not, we'll catch you on the following week. But again, appreciate all the support, y'all. We are over 23,000 members in this bad boy now. This started as just just me and my wife. It was just us. It was nobody else in this thing. But God had other plans, so very grateful. But outside of that, y'all just be blessed. Thank you again, Danny. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
All right, peace.